Hare Krishna, everyone. It's nice to see you all there. Today, we are going to discuss about chapter 2. And let me just share my screen first. Yes. Just let me in chat if you are able to see my screen. Just say yes in the chat box. Okay. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Kimya. Thank you. Okay, so we are going to start with chapter 2. But before that, let's just revise what we have learned in. Okay, so yes, before everything, we are going to start with the Mangalacharan as usual. You can recite on your side only also, but just be on mute. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, so welcome all again for this chapter 2 discussion. This chapter name is Contents of Gita Summarized, means it's like summary of entire Bhagavad Gita. And we'll just revise what we learned. In chapter 1, Arjuna was going through some amazing uh, bewilderment, and he was pouring all out his anxieties and difficulties in front of Krishna. But did you notice one thing here? Like Krishna remained silent throughout the discussion. In chapter 1, Krishna hasn't spoken even a word. There is a lesson for us. When someone is going through problems, we shouldn't just be jumping in there and giving them advice. But sometimes people just need to be heard. Sometimes people need to just express their heart and grasp what really is going on in their heart and mind and consciousness. Krishna became the best counselor, and he let Arjuna fully express himself. In chapter 2, after having understood the Arjuna's predicament, his difficulty situation, Krishna will start giving advice. So in this chapter, Krishna will summarize the whole spiritual journey from beginning to end. And this is one of the most important chapters in Bhagavad Gita. This is the one of the most famous chapter. It has very rich wisdom, and Krishna is going to give us very powerful knowledge about the universe in this chapter. What is important and significant is Arjuna is sitting right next to Krishna. He is with God himself, yet he experienced the difficulty, he experienced the confusion, the stress, bewilderment, and he doesn't know the answers to those confusions. How can this happen, right? You are sitting next to God and still you are confused. So everyone, we all go to temple, right? So still this situation happened with Arjuna. So what we have to learn here is it is not important to be close to proximity of God. So just being in presence of God is not important. It's not about closeness of being there, it's about closeness of hearing from God, right? How closely we are hearing God. And when Arjuna starts listening to God, Krishna, and apply those suggestions in his thought process and is in action, then it becomes crystal clear to him. So just going to temple is not enough. Listening to scriptures, listening to what God is trying to say is also important, and applying in their inner life. That is also very, very important. So that's what we are going to see now. We'll revise previous chapter. The acronym was doubt, DOUBT. We heard Arjun that, like, okay, D stands for Dhritarashtra and Duryodhan. We saw what is their mentality, what is their, although they're being very intelligent, they were lacking emotional quotient and spiritual quotient. Then we saw various signs which resulted in ominous results, the good results or successful results in favor of Pandavas. Then still, even though all those signs were there, Arjuna was feeling uncertain, and he expressed his uncertainty, and ultimately he expressed his bewilderment to Krishna. And we arrive at the turning point. So, unless we have doubt, we cannot progress in our spiritual journey. Okay. So, if we are too comfortable in this world, we'll never question what is beyond. The world is arranged to cause doubts within us in many ways. We just have to realize those doubts. Whenever we are actually facing any situation, there may be a call to us also that we just have to see. So quickly, we'll overview of Bhagavad Gita. We'll see quickly. Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters, 700 verses, and first six chapter is called as Yoga of Success, or in Hindi or Sanskrit we call it Karma Yoga. So Krishna explains the yoga of success, how to act and function in this world in order to maximize your potential and capability in this world. Right? That is yoga of karma. Then 7 to 12 chapters are yoga of love, like Bhakti Yoga. These are the most important chapters. Like if you are having in a sandwich, then sandwich is known by its filling. Or let's say if you are making paratha, so we call it aloo paratha, gobi paratha, like that, right? So it is known by what is filled inside the paratha. So in the same way, because that is the most important part, in the same way, these middle six chapters of Bhagavad Gita are the most important chapter. Okay. And last six chapters are yoga of wisdom, like Jnana Yoga, it is called as, and how to get the wisdom in our life. In this world, we want to love in this world. We want the success in this world. We want wisdom. But Krishna explains in Gita how to awaken this love and simultaneously how to be successful and function in this world. He will give us wisdom, how to navigate through the life situations, and like how this life will be influencing our thought process and our decisions, and how do we find solutions for those situations. That's what Bhagavad Gita is teaching us. So in the same way, acronym for second chapter is Gita, right? We discussed its summary of Bhagavad Gita, second chapter. So what better name it can be, right? So this name represents not only acronym, the content, it not only summarizes the content of the chapter, it also indicates the theme of the chapter. Okay. So it starts with first letter G. G stands for Guru. Because Arjuna approaches Krishna and asks, "Can you be my Guru?" And then Krishna starts explaining, when you approach the Guru, the first thing Guru teaches us is about I. I means identity, who you are, what is your real identity. But after knowing them, then the Guru teaches us about two duties. What are two duties? Two dharma. In Hindi, it is called as dharma. And at the end, when we are satisfying both the duties successfully, the person reaches to this stage, Atma Ram. Atma Ram means who is self-satisfied, self-realized soul. That is what is this summary of chapter. So by the way, in case you have any question, just feel free to send in chat box. Okay. And let me see, there is one message. Is that okay? Anyway, so feel free to send in chat box anytime. Okay. So we are starting with the first letter Guru. First few verses of this chapter, like are talked again by Arjuna, and we know like Arjuna is in battlefield and crores of soldiers are there in the battlefield. They are ready to fight. They have everything ready, but only one thing is stopping them. Who is Arjuna? He has to make the decision: should I fight? Should I or should I not fight? In life, we face many situations where we have to make hard decisions. Can you just tell me in the chat box what is the one thing in life you have faced very hard decision, right? Anything? Or let me ask you differently. Krishna gives you everything, right? Or Krishna can take away everything. But what is the one thing what Krishna never can take away from you? What is that thing? Can you please tell me in chat box? If you can tell me, just say the answer, or you just say no, that you don't know this answer. So what is the one thing that Krishna never takes away from you? He can take away wealth, he can take away beauty, he can take away anything, whatever you possess. Bhakti. Okay, free will. Yes, that's the right answer. Love. Okay, okay. Yeah. So right answer is free will. It's ability to make decision. So we are faced with various situations in our life, and those choices are given to you. It is up to you that you have to make decision and perform those choices. We in our life, in our everyday, we make close to 35,000 decisions in one day. Some decisions may be small, like I need to drink water now. I just need to go to walk. I need to play. These are very small decisions. Some are very big. Some decisions impact our lives. Okay. So this answer is correct. Like God never takes away our free will. And that's what we have to learn now. Why? Yeah. Okay, so what were Arjuna's doubts? If somebody remembers, right? Arjuna is in dilemma. He is facing issue, right? Should I fight or should I not fight? So these are the doubts he has raised. Compassion, right? Why do I want to be part of the situation where there will be much suffering, right? I should not be causing troubles to my seniors, my elderly people. I should not be causing anything so that I will lose the happiness, right? There won't be any happiness because my relatives will be died. So I will not have family to enjoy the kingdom. And also the family life will be destroyed. If I engage in war, this will destroy family life and creating terrible environment, which will create sinful reactions for me. So these are Arjuna's very good arguments why he should not fight. Now, Krishna is going to take Arjuna on a journey. At the end of the journey, we are going to revisit the doubts and we are going to see how Krishna has answered all his questions. Okay, so this is one of the most beautiful verse. This is my personal favorite one also, and most important verse also in Bhagavad Gita. Its meter of reciting also changes, and that shows the importance of the verse. I'll just recite this verse once. Karpanya doshopahatas svabhava pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta yashreyasyanishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. So what Arjuna is saying now, I'm confused about my duty and I have lost all the composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. So here what we are seeing, Arjuna has become very emotional and his emotions are at a peak, and he is turning to Krishna and opening his heart to Krishna and asking Krishna to actually just teach me or be my guru here. Here Arjuna has accepted Krishna as guru, and he's making the best choice actually in his life, asking Krishna to be his guru. And that has become the crucial juncture, because otherwise the results would have been different. Okay. So we also have to make a lot of choices in our life. There is no control Z button. Control Z button means like undo. We make, like in computer, if you are making any mistake while typing, you just press Control Z or Control Z, and there is like you undo the changes. But in life, there is no undo button. Sometimes the decisions are easy to make, sometimes are hard. Easy decisions sometimes are hard to live, and hard decisions sometimes are easy to live with. So what happens when we are actually going to make any, or we have to make any decision? Four things, four steps, or four things happen. Like there is indecision, means that is the worst place to be, right? We are not able to decide what is right or what is wrong in this way. We are remaining stagnant in our life. In this case, the world makes decision for us. Okay. Then this is little better, like indiscretion. Like we are making some decision, but we are not able to make what is good decision or not good decision. Okay. So you make a decision, but without thinking, without actually thinking of ramification. Sometimes we are very impulsive without thinking what's going to happen. Then better stage than this is introspection. Here we are weighing up the options, like what is better than what. Like some option is better than other option, right? Which will be useful for me in future also. In this way, we consider negative implications also. So this is good situation. And inspiration, this is the best thing. When making decision, we look for inspiration. So, but where to get the inspiration, right? That is most important thing. Introspection and inspiration together work best. But we have to take inspiration first and then do introspection. Okay. So where to get introspection, right? There are questions which cannot be answered by Google, right? If you make decisions based on these things, then you will be the best decision, and it will bring you the deepest sense of happiness. Yes. So scriptures, like from where to find the inspiration is scriptures. Scriptures are our guidebook. Then spiritual teachers, there are a lot of teachers out there, outer gurus, and then super soul. So scriptures give you guidance on how to get married, what to consider when you marry someone, clarifies everything and all those things. It tells you how you should live, how you should actually find the balance in our life. Teachers take those principles from scriptures and teach you how to apply in the life. Okay. So it's very difficult sometimes, it may be, to understand the scriptures. That's why teachers come in play in our life, and they actually give you guidance. And the third stage is super soul, like that is inner guru, which Krishna himself. And the Krishna himself will inspire you. But this is the third stage, super soul, is the advanced stage. Let me just highlight. So this stage is the this is the higher stage. This is very higher, only for the very advanced people, very advanced level people. You cannot say ki I am getting inner voice, I want to go to America and that's why I should be going America. But we have to see, like sometimes our decisions may be made by our mind, who is not Krishna. So to realize that who is actually calling that decision, we have to be a little bit advanced, and that we can become with first two things, scriptures and spiritual teachers will help us to reach to the advanced stage. Okay. So the second stage is identity. Once we have identified the Guru starts talking to us and gives us the identity, who we are. So here in the first 10 verses of this chapter, we'll learn about like how Arjuna is rendering respect to Krishna and offer accepting him as a guru. Okay. Yes. Okay. So comes. Arjuna is think what is the root cause basically? Is like Arjuna doesn't know like who am I, why I am here, and what is my future. Okay. Confusion is coming from these three questions. If you haven't deeply understood the answers to above questions, you will also undergo the existential confusion. When we have the clarity of the questions, what can we can live very happily and successfully, purposefully in this life. Okay. So here Krishna now going in this next section, Krishna is going to answer, who am I? Right? What is your true identity? So we'll learn these two verses. Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadipaha nachaiva na bhavishyama sarve vayamata param. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to be. So this is not only answer to Arjuna, actually, this is to all the people who think after dying, you will be merging to one light, or there is only one, you will be actually meeting with Krishna and all those things. Like you'll be going to a light or anything. So what there is something like there is something, right? Natvevaham jatu nasam. Matlab, there was never a time when I did not exist. Like Krishna was always there, nor you or nor this king. All others are also were also present. Okay. And in future they will also be present. Okay. So that is what is the meaning. So that means what is that thing that we are going to sing? So that thing is this thing, the embodied soul. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yovanam jara tetha tatha dehantara praptir dhirastatra namuyati. So here, as the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such change. So this Atma is eternal. If we combine these two verses, 2.12 and 2.13, what we understand, this you are nothing but a soul. You are inhibiting this, you are living in this body. And then once this body is over, you are moving on to the next body. So this life is nothing but one chapter. And once this chapter is over, the soul is moving to the next chapter. So what we have to understand, you means the soul doesn't, it's not black or white, it's not man or woman, it's not like you're a doctor or an engineer, you're American or Indian. These are all temporary identities. These are not actually, okay, there is a question. I'll answer this question. I just saw who takes the decision, mind or soul. I'll come to that. Okay. So you are the spirit soul. Here, we have to understand this thing. Okay, this life is like one chapter, and Atma will move to the next one once this gets over. Okay, so there is a question. I'll answer this question. Who takes the decision, mind or soul? Anybody has answer to this question? Anybody wants to take guess? Just type in the chat box. Who takes decision, mind or soul? Anybody has answer? Or I'll add another thing like mind, soul, or intelligence. who takes the decision? Okay, let's say I'm going by a road and I smell a beautiful, very tasty smell of samosas, right? And now I want to eat samosa. Like, who is calling this? Like, some soul is calling for samosa or mind is taking me to that? Can you answer, Project Pankaj? Can you just answer this answer? Like, who is taking me to samosa?
Mind is speaking to our samosa. Mind.
So does this answer your question?
Yeah, yeah. But how soul interferes in the decisions?
Yeah. So see, what we have this body is that is going to come into the next chapters, by the way. See, our nature is defined by our previous karma, right? And then that we get that body and everything. And then based on the body, our decisions also keep on coming. Like this samosa, even though samosa is there, and if you are in tiger's body, you will not be attracted to that samosa, right? So that these urges come from the body. Now, soul has three functions: uh, thinking, willing, and there is something more. So I'm forgetting. Thinking, willing, and uh, there are three functions of soul. I'll come to that once we are reaching to third chapter. We are going to go that in that route also. But as of now, I'll just stop here for this question. The mind is taking decision, and soul is approving that decision. Okay. So soul is approving that decision, and it is also approved by, and it is watched by another super soul, which is also in our heart, is super soul. That is nothing but Krishna is there. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So this is what I was saying. So we have this nothing but a gross body. Gross body means this is our physical body. Physical means like it is made by Pancha Mahabhuta, like earth, water, ether, uh, the fire, all these five elements. This body is keep on changing every time, right? You have when you're young, you have different body, but it also has subtle body. Subtle body means which you cannot see, you cannot feel, you cannot touch, but it is still there. Like for example, mind, intelligence, and ego, false ego. That that comprises our subtle body. Okay, mind, intelligence, and ego. These are everyone has these things, and most important part is the soul that is not changing. Okay, this is what Krishna is trying to explain here. Now the question is, right, if you are this body, if we think like body is made of a material, like what is the cost of the body, right? How much is worth of this body? Can somebody guess like what is worth of your body? If we are trying to quantify that, like what would be the worth of the body? Like 5,000, 10,000. I like my weight is more, so I have more. So body is made of chemicals. I'm getting some answer. It is a gift from God. Yes, definitely it is a gift from God. But it is made of chemicals, and chemicals have value, right? So these are made for from these chemicals. And if you are actually calculating the cost, it would be around 10,000 rupees or so. Many, if you have doctor friends, I believe there was a participant who was doctor also. I don't know his present today. They get to learn about dissection of the dead body. And you can just talk to them. They will say, ki, dead body is nothing but just a dead machine. Okay, it was working sometime, but that currently it is not. So what is that is missing from the body that we have to understand? It is a simple question just to ponder upon. Let's say you see a car accident, or let's say you are meeting with a car accident along with your friend. Your car is 30 lakh rupees. So whom will you save first? Your friend or your car? Right? So definitely we'll save our friend, because even though friend's body doesn't cost much, But friend has something more than just body, right? What is that? That we have to understand. Okay. So again, we are understanding we have soul. We are nothing but a soul. We are inhabiting or we are living in this body, or we soul has this subtle body, mind, intelligence, and ego. And this has the gross body, which is made of five elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Ether means space. This is the our body composition. When, like, what happens when somebody is dying, right? Can somebody tell me from this example, like what do you think, like what is happens when somebody dies? So this, what this picture is showing is this material body, first material body. Let me just highlight it here. This first material body, the soul is getting transferred. This soul means yellow. This soul is getting transferred by the subtle body. Subtle body, this green color is subtle body, and it is getting transferred to the next material body. Okay. So we haven't, in Vedic rituals, you might have observed, like there is 13 days ceremony. Like people, if they experience any death in their family, they mourn for 13 days. So that is the transition time. Okay, that's what we are seeing here. So everything is science. When we are talking about moksha or liberation, this is what happens. You leave the material body and you get nothing but a spiritual body. The body or the soul itself gets a shape in spiritual form. In that, soul goes to the spiritual world, and the spiritual world is called as Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means, Kuntha means anxiety. Vaikuntha means there is no, the place where there is no anxiety. That is Vaikuntha. After how many days soul takes new body? So no one knows this. Only Krishna knows this. After how many days? Generally, the transition period is considered as 13 days, but that is transition from this world to the this Pitraloka. That is Pitralok. If you know the Pitralok is there. So that is the transition period for these the 13 days. But it is not guaranteed when we'll get the next body. That is up to your karma. It may happen immediately, it may happen after some time also. So when, why do we point to our heart when we are calling to myself? Like, just think about, right? We are, the language that we use, like someone is passed away, that body is lying there, still we say that person passed away, right? We experience the deja vu moment. Deja vu means like, okay, something similar has happened or happening or going to happen. Like we don't know, we might have experienced this, but we don't remember exactly when. That is the deja vu moment. Abilities, like some people have the different abilities at different age. uh, Many people, many times you might say in the news, right? A kid, like 5 year or 10-year kid is doing some extraordinary thing, right? From where it is coming? That must be coming from somewhere. That kid was never learned. So that is you might have heard about ghost. What is ghost? So in Vedic understanding, ghosts are nothing but a soul stuck in the subtle body. Okay, that soul is stuck in a subtle body. That is, these are ghosts. There are incidents like NDE, means near death experience, and out of body experiences. So there have been documented cases where people have experienced this near death experience. Near death means people people surrounding them thought that they have died, but they came back to life. Or out of body experience means people, they are having their operation happening. They can, but they could see their operation happening from somewhere far place, right? So they were observing, and these are documented cases. These are available online also. You can see there is a scientist who have uh, done research about regressions. Regressions means remembering past life. There, Ian Stevenson is a Canadian scientist who have documented 5,000 cases explaining about their past experiences. So what it talks like, okay, life, okay, I was not remembering that thing. Soul has three functions: thinking, feeling, and willing. Okay, I will come to that with more discussion. Thinking, feeling, and willing, this thing. So what we have to this think like this life is nothing but just one chapter. Sometimes you just lie down, relax, close your eyes, and remind yourself this life is just one chapter, is one long story going on. Okay? Krishna is clarifying Arjuna's vision that who you are a spiritual being. The confusion you are feeling is because you haven't realized you are not this body and you are not this mind, but you are a soul. Okay? So that is the answer Krishna has given. Once we realize this, okay, I'm soul now. What I have to do? What is my goal here in this life? How does it change my life? So Krishna now talks about two duties. Okay, dharma. So the word dharma has various meaning. It cannot be literally translated just religion. Religion is just one of the meaning. Duty, nature, the right way of living. That is dharma. Gita is not a religious book. It's a book that tells you how to live in this world happily. What more do we want? Right? So there are two dharmas. Swadharma means worldly duty, and Sanatana Dharma means spiritual duty. Swadharma means we whatever the duties we have related to mind, related to our body, related to our family, society, career, our country, that is Swadharma. But what is Sanatana Dharma is our spiritual duty. We are a soul. We have to do spiritual practices. We have to live spiritual lifestyle. We have to go closer to God. We have to serve Lord. These are spiritual duties. And that is this balancing these two duty is our actually goal. We we keep on coming back to this world because we haven't fulfilled these two dharmas, right? Our Swadharma and Sanatan Dharma. Either we have gone to one extent or the other extent. Okay, when we fulfill both these dharma, then we go back to Krishna. So this is the verse what Krishna is trying to explain. Karmanne, this is one of the famous verse, by the way. Karmanne vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phale turbhu ma te sangostva karmani. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. And when I never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities and never be attached to not doing your duty. That is also important. Krishna explains you must do your worldly duty, but don't get attached to results. Say detached to the fruits of these. Whatever the results you are getting, don't get connected to that and focus on your spiritual duty. So you are a soul that you are on longer journey. That's what we have to understand. So what Prabhupada has explained in one of the purports is there are two kinds of swadharmas, specific dharma duties. As long as one is not liberated, one has to perform the duties of his particular body in accordance with the religious principles in order to achieve the liberation. When one is liberated, one's swadharma or specific duty becomes spiritual and is not in the material bodily concept. So what Prabhupada explained is about these two duties only. Once we are not liberated yet, right? So we are bound to perform these two duties according to our body, according to our religious principles, so that we will achieve that liberation. So to achieve the liberation, what is required is perform the two duties. We cannot go to one extent. So we have to do the balancing act. Two dharmas is nothing but the balancing act. At the at the end of this chapter, Krishna is going to explain Arjuna about these two duties we have to do side by side to become Atma Ram. We'll come to that. Some people do Swadharma completely but forget about Sanatan Dharma. That is not good. And some people do only Sanatan Dharma and completely forget about Swadharma. That is also not good. So, what we have to do, we have to balance. We have to do both the duties in a balanced way. And what happens when you do that? What happens when you do both the duties in a balanced way? You become Atma Rama. Atma means the self, Rama means self happiness or enjoyment, right? The pleasure. That is Rama. So, someone who finds happiness within, that is Atma Rama. Okay, so once this Krishna explains to Arjuna about the two duties, Arjuna is asking, okay, what is the qualities of this person, of this way, like who is performing these two duties in a balanced way? What kind of characters that person has? Or how do I know that I am having these two qualities or I'm balancing these two? So what Arjuna is asking, Sthita pragyasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadhi kim pravasheta kimasita vrajeta kim. So what Arjuna says is, oh Krishna, what are the symptoms of those whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak? What is his language? How does he sit? How does he walk? Okay, that's what Arjuna is asking. And Krishna is telling him answers like Dukheshu Anudvikmanaha, Sukheshu Vigataspruha, Vitaraga Bhaya Krodhas, Stitidir Muniruchate. So this is the beautiful section where Krishna is giving more and more qualities about self-realized souls. So one who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger. This is very important. Who is free from what? Attachment, fear, and anger. Is called as sage of steady mind. And in the next verse, what Krishna is telling, like in the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither by praising it or nor despising it, it is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. So Atmaram, the self-realized souls, they are not disturbed when there is a great calamity. Whatever is happening, whatever difficult situation is happening, they don't get disturbed. Or whatever happiness is coming to them, they are not elated or they are not going just enjoying or just getting very, very elated because of that. So not having fear, attachment, and anger, that is real fear, freedom, right? We think, okay, no one should question us, no one should actually trouble us. That is the real freedom. But the real freedom is not having any fear, attachment, or anger. When Nelson Mandela, if you know that he is one of the very famous person, Nelson Mandela, he got out of the jail. One person asked him, what you learned in jail, like what exactly the experiences were there. So Nelson Mandela had got Bhagavad Gita in jail. So he, what he learned from Bhagavad Gita, he said, I may have walked out of prison if I don't give up my anger, bitterness, and feeling of resentment, fear, frustration. I'll still be imprisoned by my own emotions. So that is what we have to understand. If we are having these emotions, that means we are getting bound by these things. We are getting trapped in our emotions. So we think we are controlled by our external circumstances, but in actual fact, we are controlled by our own emotions. Okay. So we think like somebody is troubling me. Okay. Somebody is fighting with me. And that's why I'm in stress. That's why I'm unhappy. But in reality, it is our mind that is causing the problem. That's what we have to understand. So, what are the three miseries Krishna mentioned here? Is inevitable. Like Krishna tells Arjuna, there are going to be these miseries, and we won't be able to avoid those. You can't control the external world, but what you can do is control your inner world. control your character, control your emotions, control your reactions to those situations. So what are the miseries, right? Adi Daivika. Adi Daivika means miseries from nature. Like for example, natural calamities, earthquake. Nowadays, lot of earthquake happening. Flood, Adi Daivika. These are Adi Daivika. Adi Bhautika means miseries from other being. Is as small as a mosquito is biting you or a neighbor is fighting with you. Like that is Adi Bhautika. And Adhyatmika means miseries from your body and mind. Your own body and mind is causing problem. Okay. What Krishna is saying here is one who develops this spiritual consciousness or purity of their consciousness acts as immunity of troubles from the material world. So we have to understand these three sufferings are inevitable. We cannot get rid of this. So instead of just keep on crying about this, we should be understanding, okay, what is beyond this. So don't worry, be happy. This is the real meaning of that. It's just not just the saying. How to, how not to worry and how to be happy. That is the answer here. When we don't have knowledge or problems, we look at this, they seem very, very big, very, very, all our difficulties, like we think like no one has all those difficulties. Only I am suffering and no one is else suffering here. But when you take a step back and get a knowledge from Bhagavad Gita and realize there is a bigger picture going on here. It's not only about us. It's not only about me. Something large is happening. And when you realize this and apply this in your life, that point your life changes. Okay. So we are at the end of this chapter. What we learned is in this chapter is Guru, about Guru. When we are facing very difficult situation, what we have to we have to do is turn to Guru. Find a person who can teach us. And what Guru teaches us is about identity, who is our true self. Guru teaches us about two duties, and once we are following these two duties, we'll be reaching to the stage. Atmaram. Yes, Mridul Biswas ji, you have raised hand. Any question?
Yes, sir. May I
Yes,
ask?
yes, please go ahead.
So there are many times in the life then when a person isn't able to find a person outside of the world. Where at that time, what is the plausible thing that we should be able to do, or what should we do?
So let me just understand. So when you think like you are in difficulty, but you are not able to find the right person to get guidance, is this correct?
Right.
Huh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So for this, we have to take shelter of our scriptures. And also, there are lot of people about who can take guidance from. For example, our parents, our friends, our family members, or whoever you are comfortable with. But while choosing that, I think we discussed in our last chapter. You did you attend last chapter, Murdal?
So last class I wasn't able to present.
Okay, no problem. So in the last chapter, we saw like whom to ask our doubts, right? That person who is actually who loves you, okay, who likes you. That is one thing. But most importantly, the person who has the real knowledge about life, that person we should be taking guidance from. Okay. And scriptures is another thing. Scriptures is also giving us a lot of guidance. But to understand scriptures, we need teachers. We need teachers who have learned from their scriptures, who have been into the disciplic chain. They are not applying their own thought process, but giving the knowledge which is coming from the acharyas. That is important, the teachers. Okay. Does this answer your question, Mridul?
Yes, sir. But if why can't I become my own guru, like a person who entrusts or learn about my own life through my own experiences and my hard work?
So the choices are always with you. Okay. You have the free will to choose the path. But we have to get the guidance. I'll give you one example. let's say you drive a car in India. You know how to drive car in India, correct? But you go to US, the driving style changes. In India, you drive from left side. In US, you drive from right side. But you go to USA and you say, no, no, I know how to drive. I'll drive in my own way. So we have to realize what is the reality of the ground, what is the reality of this world, what is the reality of the life, and that is taught by scriptures and teachers only. We cannot actually, we don't have enough knowledge to identify the reality of the life. Okay, so yes, the choices are yours, but it's always good to get the guidance. There are two types of learning. We are going to learn this in future chapters. So there are two types of learning, like descending learning and ascending learning. Descending means aroho and avroho. It is in Sanskrit, it is called that. For example, you are step by step, you are learning. Okay, you learn to walk, then you learn to run. That is ascending learning. Descending learning is when you hear about something and you apply that. For example, when your parents, your child, and your parents tell you, okay, that is fire there, and don't go near to that, otherwise you will be burned. Okay, so you cannot try everything, otherwise you will be injuring yourself. When you start doing everything yourself, that will be hazardous. Okay, so it's always advisable to take guidance from gurus, and not only gurus but scriptures and teachers. Is this good?
Understood, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Pankaj ji has a question: how to control ego and anger? Yeah, that is we are going to learn in the next chapter. Next chapter, I think in fourth chapter and sixth chapter we are going to learn. Okay, so that will come about when we are. Okay, who has written Gita? I'll answer this question at the end of this session. Yes. We are about to over this, just a few more slides. Okay. So this was the second chapter summary. Right. We start from Guru, and then we identify our sambandha, our relationship with ourselves, with God, and then we practice with two duties. Abhideya and Prayojan means like we reach to that stage, Atma Rama. These three things you just remember. We are going to repeat this in next chapters also. Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojan. Sambandha means relationship, Abhideya means practice, and Prayojan means perfection. Okay. So Guru gives us identity. That's nothing but Sambandha. We are establishing our Sambandha, our relationship with God. Then he also gives you idea about our two duties. And so with this understanding, we reach to Atma Rama stage. That is the perfection. So we are going to summarize now first chapter and second chapter. In first chapter, Arjuna asks some doubts, Arjuna asks some question, and Krishna gave answers to all his questions. Arjuna raised questions about compassion. He didn't want to fight. He didn't want to hurt anybody or he be cause of anyone's violence. But what Krishna said, compassion based on soul. You cannot just be compassionate on the body and mind level. You have to be compassionate on the soul level. Understand that there will be suffering in this war, but this war is inevitable in order to achieve the desired spiritual well-being for generations. That's what Krishna explained. Arjuna also explained about happiness, right? So happiness, what Krishna said is like even from the material point of view, it's a win-win situation. You win the battle, and you win the battle, you will re-establish the dharma, the good civilization. And if you lose with the battle, and you are living by the dharma, and you are fought for the dharma, ultimately you will go to higher place. Okay, so whatever happens, you don't have to worry. Then Arjuna mentioned about family life, society, right? So what Krishna said, by taking part in this war, you are actually going to save family and society, because you are going to make sure spirituality remains in the family and society. You have you have to actually fight for them, and you are allowing, if you are allowing Dhritarashtra son or Duryodhan to win the war, the spirituality will be lost into the generations. So that's what Arjuna, Krishna said. And when Arjuna mentioned about sinful reaction, what Krishna said is, when you do an activity and on the outside it may seem a violent activity, but it's done for genuine spiritual cause, then it's not sinful reaction. When we act for higher purpose, for genuine well-being, we don't incur any sins. Okay. So what now? Think differently. This is the last slide. What Bhagavad Gita world teaches us is the act first and ask later. Okay, world teaches us you do your act first and then ask later. But what Gita teaches us, ask first and act later. Okay, so this is all we have. Now I'll answer to the question.